Hello, welcome to the show. For today's guest, we have tomorrow Omari.
What's going on? What's going on?
Joined by co-host PhD Lovely.
How we doing?
So, tomorrow Omari, can you please start off by telling everyone a little bit about yourself?
About myself. I'm an artist, producer, raised in Atlanta. Make, I guess you could say, like, I know it's a cliche term, but I guess like experimental type hip hop. You know what I mean?
I'd stand by experimental.
I appreciate that. And yeah, just a guy that, you know, just likes to, I love making music, and, you know, I'm an observer of the world, you know? So, like, you know, people watcher, not really main character syndrome type guy, just like a distant observer. I always kind of viewed myself since I was a little kid like this guy that's like just viewing all the madness from the shadows type thing, you know? That's kind of my vibe, you know?
I think of you as the kind of guy that lives life
Yeah.
as the art.
try
Everything
to.
you do
I try
touches, and it feels like it's artistic.
I mean, you've been a huge part of that journey, so I mean, you know what I mean? We mean you have some serious history, so.
Yeah, we do have a bit of back history, but...
Yeah.
What's your favorite story of each other?
Ooh, I have to really think about that.
I like that when I first moved to Atlanta, I was not a very likable person. I was very focused and driven and did not give people, oftentimes, the time of day. So Omari knew me before I knew Omari.
Oh, yeah, I remember him, yeah, because I saw him, because we both went to SAE, but we didn't really know each other from SAE like that. And he was like a class before me. And, yeah, you know, the first time I did talk to him was at SAE, because he was, I don't know, something happened, and I found out about some Azalea Banks remix thing that he was doing. And that was like the first time we ever spoke.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
The Azalea Banks stuff?
Yeah, that was the first time we ever spoke.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And yeah, I just remember him being, you know, just super. He wasn't fucking around, you know.
No, we're here to make it.
Yeah, it was really that type of vibe, you know. And I was here to make it too, but like I was like, oh shit, you know.
But you also have that like sort of artist sensibility, you know. I had that fucking I need to destroy shit in order to.
I mean, you know, Will is a very, you know, he's playful, but he's about his business, you know. And then we, you know, after that, you know, I don't think we saw each other for like a year or so, and then I ended up landing an internship at Triangle Sound Studios, and that's where we became friends, because he was already there. And yeah, then it was just like we just became super close from there, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. But what's my favorite story? Man, I mean, I don't know, man. I feel like, you know, I mean, I'm a couple years older than him, but I feel like, you know, there's so many, you know, we in a way, like we grew into manhood together in our own type of way.
Absolutely.
You know, so it's like it's like so many different things, you know, different girlfriends, different relationships, different ups and downs and stuff like that, you know. I don't really have to really sit back and think. I don't know if I can really give you an answer right now. I'd have to think of something, because just we've done so much. I guess my favorite story is when he converted me to Ableton. I was a big Logic guy.
It's a good move.
And you know, we had a lot of time to kill, and he helped me understand it. Like, I had Ableton, but like there's certain things I was very comfortable in Logic. I liked the music that I was making in Logic. And then, you know,
Ableton will break that comfort.
Yeah, you know, and then he was kind of just like, you know, if you're making music like this, like, you should be using Ableton, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, okay, well, I'll try it out. And we just started making stuff, and then I just, like, learned how to use it through us just making stuff, really, you know, very, very early on. And, yeah, you know, I'm sure there's a more meaningful story, but, you know, we just live life, you know, crazy. You know, we turn up, and, you know, we just do stuff, you know. It's just, we always have a good time. Even if we don't talk for a while, it's like nothing ever happened, you know. It's one of my closest friends, you know, so.
How about you, Will? Do you want to out Omari?
Yeah,
on the
yeah.
internet?
I'll tell Omari.
What you got?
Well, one time Omari and I went to a warehouse party.
Oh my gosh, I wasn't gonna say this.
We went to a warehouse party, and I had these fly ass shoes on. I remember those things. They had like leopard print.
Oh, I do
They
remember
weren't
those.
a brand. They were so cool. And one thing about me is if I catch a vibe, I follow that vibe. And if that vibe dies, I die with that vibe, and I move on. And so I bring Omari to this warehouse party, and it's weird. It's bumping. And I dance my way on to the floor, and the sole of my shoe rips off, and I look up and I go, well, my night's over, and I just jet off into the night from Omari's perspective, leaving him in the middle of this warehouse party.
Fucked up. I was like, yo, like, and I'm talking about I was really fucked up. I was like, oh man, like, I called the Uber. I was like, bro, like, he was like, oh, you sound drunk. I'm not picking. I was like, yo, if you don't pick me up, I think that I'm about to faint, bro. Like, you have to, like, and I was just like, bro, this motherfucker left me.
Yeah, it's not one of those good guy moments of mine. I remember because you called me after I had gone to bed because you were staying with me or something of that nature.
It was. My car was over there and everything.
Yeah.
Yo, you were working out of the fifth dimension at that point?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Oh, hell yeah.
So why tomorrow, Omari? How'd you land on that?
So it actually was a circumstantial thing. Like I had a different name, and then I was doing some work with this group called the Far Out Family, and one of the leaders of the group, we were talking about scheduling, and then he was like, we were talking about something. He's like, maybe tomorrow, Omari,
Maybe tomorrow.
and I was
alright.
like, and then we just looked at each other, and it was just like, you know what you have to do. I was like, yeah, I do. I just changed my name.
And they used that for your
Solid
tag
story.
for a minute. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Using it as producer tag.
Mm-hmm.
But what did the producer tag sound like? Can you recreate it?
It's just one of my homies saying, maybe tomorrow, Omari.
No,
Maybe tomorrow,
Maybe tomorrow, Omari.
Yeah, it's like he's saying it in
I
a
do
certain
do that.
inflection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Bias LaRose, great rapper too.
Oh, yeah, he was fire.
Mm-hmm.
Those
Who's-
projects were crazy.
Who's Vice Rose?
He's another member of the Faro family, but they had like individual stuff. But like he's a rapper. The person that said that coined the name, his name is Glenn Sadler. Me and him are also in a group called Dreamer Blue, and we've made a lot of music together too. So I've
Okay.
done a lot of music with them over the years. You know, they were pretty big group in underground Atlanta in like the 2010s. You know.
Okay. I was not around for that, so I wouldn't know.
Are we doing product placement on this show?
Potentially. What do you got there?
Kroger brand ginger beer. 0 calories. Get you some.
Shout out Kroger.
Kroger. They have food. So, on a lot of your music, you use a lot of a lower voice register, and it seems somewhat like around your speaking voice. Do you ever try to sing higher pitch, or what made you decide to do so much lower range vocals?
I don't know, like, that's how it just sounds like in the microphone. Like, I feel like my voice is like, when I was in engineering school, SAE, my teacher, like, he sat me down and said, like, you have, like, this really interesting voice because it's, like, mad low end and, like, really high at the same time. So it's, like, kind of deceptive, you know? So it's not, like, something I'm doing on purpose. It's, like, you know, just, like, that's just kind of just how it's ending up. Like, I'm not trying to make my voice deeper or
I
anything.
feel like you are really underselling your vocal processing right now. I feel like you are intentionally misleading us.
Huh? What you mean? I don't...
I mean, if someone had never heard your music before, it's not like, you know, your Kanye's where it's straight. It's not going to be... You put a lot of work into it. That is a part of the sound design to the whole record, is the way that you manipulate your vocals.
I mean, I definitely manipulate stuff, you know, but, you know, like, I grew up on, like, dance hall music and stuff like that, like Buju Banton and stuff like that, and they can do these things where their voice get high and then low and stuff like that. That's, like, the stuff I used to just make these sounds as a kid, so it's, like, you know, like, I can just can just make interesting. I can talk in a low voice. I can talk in a high voice. Sometimes I get nasally chest. It just really depends.
Are you watching Love Island?
No, but I guess I know what's going on to an extent. Cause
Corbin got a low voice.
I don't know who that is specifically.
No.
I know that it's a show that people seem to be interested in.
If we were to make a really low budget recreation where we got a bunch of random people and we just called it Love Parking Lot and just stuck you guys out in the parking lot. And
who's you guys?
That's a good question.
the contestants of Love Parking Lot. And we'll give you a gift card for the Publix of the parking lot that you guys are in with whoever gets
I like Publix.
Legally married. Would you join that?
Well, I'm in a relationship, so that probably wouldn't work unless she's another contestant.
That does work.
And honestly, that would be great.
If she was a contestant, then we would just finesse it and get married.
Yeah, finesse that really quickly.
And get the gift card.
It's a loophole I didn't think of.
Yeah. So if she's in a contestant, we would just get married and get the gift card and then leave.
That does.
Go shopping.
So it sounds like you would join the show, Love Parking Lot.
Now your significant other, she an artist? You seem like you couldn't not date someone creative.
Yeah, I love dating artists. I'm not dating anymore, but life is art. We talk about art all the time and it's interesting concepts, and she likes science stuff too. So we get into the science stuff, and I've never really talked seriously to anyone that didn't have any type of artistic tendencies in some type of way. I'm not saying that they had to be an artist per se, but I never met someone that just wasn't into art ever,
Speaking of art, one of the things that I really enjoy about your art, let me say that, the names of your songs never show up in the songs themselves, or at least very rarely. And I've been meaning to ask somebody, I could have used ChatGPT, but you are here now. What's the name of your last song? How am I supposed to pronounce that?
The name of my last song is called Gurdels Theorem.
Gurdels Theorem? What's Gurdels Theorem?
All right, so I don't want a snob in the comments of whatever to I don't fully understand it, but I was given a request to make a song about this concept, so I had to do a little bit of research. I did a lot of research actually, but it's really, really deep. But it's pretty much in the most generalized way, something can't be graded or quantified within itself. What the determining of math is based off of math in itself, but what is the thing above math that quantifies math's existence? And you can use that for I guess questions for many things.
Is the answer the universe? What's
it's actually called Gödel's theorem. Gödel's incompleteness theorem. So I don't think there is an answer.
Oh wow!
I think that's the whole thing is that there is no answer, because the answer is based off of a grading scale within itself. So can that truly be an answer?
And how did you make a song about Gödel's theorem?
I was just, trying to think of things about, life and the things that can't really be answered. Okay. And then, I had this thing that was going in my head, because I was asked to make this for a while. You make a song about Gödel's theorem, I was
Who made you do that?
My girlfriend, her name is Cara Duro. So she's like, yeah, man, I want you to make a song about Gödel's theorem. She was asking me for a while. I was like, okay, well, I have to figure out what this is. I'm looking at it, I'm like, what the fuck is this Because people have so many different opinions on it. It's heavily debated. And then I was like, okay, I don't even know how I would start this without, I'm not trying to sound like some lame, preachy nerd scientist person, you know what I'm saying? And there's nothing wrong with being a nerd or a scientist, but
thank you,
trying to come off that way, without really knowing. You know, that's I can feel like posery in its own type of way. But then, you know, I had this thing going in my mind where it's like, you know, I was thinking about, you know, what's going on in society and, you know, wars and stuff like that. And I had this interesting thought where I was like, should I say thank you or sorry to veterans? And then the song just kind of came after that.
Wow, that's a pretty divisive line.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And it's like,
Should
I don't
you
have
say
the answer.
Oh, you don't have the answer.
That's
I
the
mean,
question.
that's the point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should I be,
That's
you know,
hard.
Since how close have you gotten to finding your answer since you released the song?
I mean,
What was the line again?
should I say thank you or sorry to veterans?
Thank you or sorry. I mean,
I don't
in
know if
some
I should
sense-
answer that question.
In some sense, I think you should say
Wait,
thank
once
you.
again, you don't have to
Why?
answer
Why
anything.
would you say? The only reason you should say sorry to a veteran is if they didn't get any of their, like, funding. Like
We don't
their-
treat.
You think so? I mean, you know, some
people.
people, you know, some people are overdoing some things that they don't understand why they're doing them. It's doing it, and it's ruining their lives. You know,
That's
killing
true.
people that they don't know why they're really doing it.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
And then
Some
they come
real-
back and they're not really well taken care
Yeah,
of.
you
Like,
know.
we don't.
But we haven't.
budget for
It's not.
that.
It's not like they were there for the draft.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, should I say thank you or sorry? I don't know. You know, because at the end of the day, it's like, should I be thanking you? Do I agree with what's even happening?
Right.
Or should I be saying
It
sorry
is
to you?
divisive.
You know, sorry that you had to partake in these things. I don't know. Some people say yes, some people say no. You know, people say, hey, man, the troops are protecting our country. And it's like, you know, sure, you know. And they're also doing a lot of other things, you know. I don't know,
And some people just want education.
you know. Some people just want a job. They want the check, but sometimes they get put to the front lines.
What's coming next for tomorrow, Omari? Any future releases?
What's going on tomorrow?
Omari.
Tomorrow, probably just gonna work on some music.
Boom.
I've been reading a lot, so
What have you been reading?
right now I'm reading All the Pretty Horses by Cormac McCarthy. Okay,
I've not heard of it.
He's considered like canon in the American literature space.
Okay.
His like he wrote the, I don't know if you've seen the movie No Country for Old Men, but he wrote the book that was based off of,
Coen Brothers.
you know, so, you know, but like his like most famous book was probably this book called Blood Meridian.
You low-key look like the dude from No Country for Old Men.
Yeah.
Of
If you
course.
haven't seen it, it's a cool movie.
Yeah.
It's a very cool movie.
Can we get a side-by-side?
Yeah.
That's what I just did.
Yeah, all right, let's go.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You know, also respect to the troops. I don't have any problem with you. I was just asking a question.
It's a good question.
I mean,
it's a good question.
Sparking thought should never
I
make
I
people
definitely
upset.
think for all the people that signed up for the military, and I don't care what happened, if you came home and the thing that they promised you, they were gonna give you money, support, whatever. If that didn't happen, definitely big sorry. I definitely, definitely thank you, and also sorry that you got duped.
I'm also sorry if you have severe injuries or PTSD.
For sure.
Very
And,
true.
you know,
And our last question, as always. You
oh,
got
it's already over? Yeah.
We can,
This is Will's last question.
Will's last question. You got to give us 2 songs that you think our audience has never heard. That you would want to share with people.
Can I look at my phone really quick?
You can do
Yeah,
whatever
you
want.
can do whatever you'd like.
Give me one
You
second.
can do whatever you like.
2 songs.
Can I ask you
songs.
questions while you're doing this?
Yeah.
You listen to T.I.'s new album?
I haven't, but I've been meaning to.
Me too. I feel like older heads keep on telling me how good it is.
I heard there's one song that's like really, really good on there. That's like a hit potentially. Like,
I mean, it's been out for a minute. Like this is not like it came out this week.
That's true. When I was a little kid, T.I. was
That
he was like the biggest You know, I never seen anything like it. You know, I've been here in Atlanta for a long time, but like when Ti was at the top, like, you know, there was nothing like it. You know,
If Ti was sneaking its ways into my schooling years, you know that he was on something different.
I don't know much of anything about Ti aside from the name Ti.
he's arguably. He should be considered, outside of like Outkast, he should be considered the best rapper to ever come out of Atlanta. But people are probably gonna give that the Future.
You think so? You think everyone
At this point, yeah, I think, you know, it's like, okay, well, damn, Future is kind of just like still going.
I mean,
What do you guys think about people that say Drake's the best rapper of all time?
I don't.
What do I think about them? I mean,
What I think about
I don't
them?
have any thoughts about them.
Do you agree or disagree with Drake being the best rapper of all time?
Oh, I don't agree with that at all. No,
That's strong.
Is he in top 3?
no,
Is he in top 5 of
No.
all time?
no.
Top 10 of all time?
My personal top 10?
Yeah.
No.
So then how could somebody ever say that he's the greatest rapper of all time?
People are welcome to their own opinion.
Maybe
Yeah,
his
they're allowed to
huge
have
amount of
Their own
success.
opinion. So you think it's a number-based...
I mean, that's
But I
that's
think
his.
also impact versus greatest is a different conversation.
Very
like I
true.
wouldn't not say that Drake hasn't had the most impact or like
He's definitely
some
a-
of the most impact
He's
as
definitely one of the most important
creative.
rappers of all time.
yeah.
But like, is he
That's a fair take.
great? The greatest to me, you know. He's made some songs I think are great. I'm always a little worried talking about Drake because he likes to enact revenge on people that
Yeah,
think bad on him.
we know some people he's enacted revenge on.
So I was like, you know, I don't
You tread lightly
Yeah,
with Drake.
you know. But I think he's talented, very talented. You know,
Would you say he's an Iceman or a nice man?
I think that
It sounds like
Shout
he's
out
an
to Canada.
Iceman.
Shout
out to Canada.
Drake is cool. You know, he has some joints. You know, he's he represents something a little different than what I gravitate to when it comes to hip hop music.
A lot of your lyrics, it seemed like you would talk a lot about introversion and some isolated thoughts. Where does that come from?
You know, I was pretty much like most of my childhood I was definitely like an outsider. You know. Yeah, I mean, I started to get a social life after I started making music. Honestly, like, like
Fun.
yeah. So it's like, I was just always an outsider. People always said I was like a crybaby when I was a kid, super sensitive. So I was just always like, just very introspective. I always thought deeply about stuff. And like I don't ever really feel comfortable like expressing like vanity or anything like that in my art. Like I'm not. It doesn't feel right. So my next question was gonna be: is there something that's made you feel like isolated growing up? But from what I see in culture, you saying showing off vanity makes you uncomfortable. Is that something that makes you feel isolated? Do you feel like a lot of people like showing off vanity? That sets you apart?
I mean, shit. When I was a kid, I was probably trying to show off all types of vanity, honestly, to fit in.
But like I just feel like I grew up around reggae music and stuff like that, and that stuff is very anti-establishment.
Very true. Rebel music.
So
Big up rebel music.
And I think early aspects of hip hop was too, and it became a little hyper capitalist for me. And I'm not a big person when it comes to capitalism in general, because I just think that's just like a snake in its tail situation. So yeah, like I work hard to get money, of course, but I just don't really think it's an interesting topic.
If you were to take down the capitalist structure, what would you replace it with?
I think about this a lot.
Because in some sense, the capitalist structure seems really easy to set up because you just let people do anything. It seems more difficult to do a separate structure.
I mean, capitalism, like it is a snake that eats its own tail type of situation, and I think we're getting where we're at in society right now is we're in that realm now. You know what I'm saying? Like the '90s, '80s, '70s, and some of the boomer generations. That was really the boomer generation. That was really a golden era of it. But what's a good replacement? I don't know, because socialism is a little that hasn't really worked out.
Well, to me, socialism is a social contract, not an economic contract. If everybody in a capitalist society adopted socialist traits where they gave and tried to focus on bartering and being useful, then society would flourish. But I agree that governments can't force people to be socialists.
Yeah. There's of course the communist thing, that.
Wait, what about like Denmark and stuff like that? What about those Nordic countries? Don't they do it?
But they also all look the same.
That's what I was about to say.
Yeah.
It's easier because they all are. There's not multiple races, so it's like it's easier to share with your people. You know what I'm saying?
Come on, Nordic countries, get your shit together.
I mean, they don't have to. Nobody. That's mainly the people that's there. So it's
we're gonna start forcing islanders to go live in Denmark. We're gonna pick them up off their island so that Denmark can learn how to have some social struggle. We're gonna put people that shit and just go place them and just see what happens.
I mean, we're in interesting times because it's like, that we have the most access to information ever, and it's been creating some interesting things. People almost becoming anti-intellectual, which is a little scary. So it's like, you can see what's going on in the world if you decide to look, but
For sure.
sometimes if you have any type of empathetic quality to you, you don't necessarily really have to experience certain things to understand them. It's the easiest time to have understanding. But I mean, it's also so much misinformation that, and nobody wants to be the bad guy, quote unquote. So they'd rather double down or whatever, find some sort of thing. Religion also justifies a lot of these things where they feel like I am supposed to do these things, and and that can get tricky. But that's pretty much almost all wars are religious wars if you peel back the layers.
I can sort of agree with that. That makes sense.
Not everybody involved might think it's a religious war,
Yeah.
but at least one side does a lot of the time.
People in large religious groups having babies, though.
They do be having babies.
They have a community to make it easier for them to have babies.
Some people think that the future of this country is only going to be religious people because they're the only people that are actually having babies.
That is true. You can spend your whole life talking about whatever hooroo-juru nonsense you want, and then if you die and don't procreate, no one cares, or at least you care, and then now you're not here. So
I mean, I think like I think the religiousness is like a lot of when anti-intellectualism is high on the rise, and nihilism is a big thing, religion comes up. People like
it's
drawn
growing
to religion, so it's like I think it's more about like the state of the people more so than them being religious, but I mean,
it'd
we'll
be
see.
what it be.
We'll see. It's like it depends on shit, man. There's a lot of people getting their freak on in some of these other places, and they're not gonna stay in those countries.
That is true. Drop them and leave a woman pregnant.
It's like I don't know what that means, but I know that there's a lot of places in Africa, a lot of places in Asia where they got a whole bunch of people.
I mean, the average age of the continent of Africa is way lower than any sort of Western.
As I'm saying, it's like so are we?
Eastern.
Like,
yeah, it's crazy.
What will it be an American in a couple of years? That's why a lot of people are fighting back, trying to close certain things to make sure it stays a certain type of way. So those type of people might be the only Americans having babies.
Yeah.
You know what I
yeah.
mean?
That was
Well,
more.
yeah.
Well, I think that might have been more my point. Than
Yeah,
The whole world got some
You know.
own shit going on.
But you
You
know,
know,
Sorry,
people do
Japan.
be having babies. In
you
fact,
know,
our country's rich enough that we're better at not having babies.
The richer the country, the less babies are happening right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that seems to be the trend.
well, yeah,
That's
you
what it
know.
looks like. I can't.
I have a
find
theory
it.
behind that, but you know.
What's your theory? Why
You
do
know,
you
like,
think
things
when
like
people
sex
get
are
rich,
like, you know,
they-
quick sources of dopamine, and there's a lot of high stress environments with no, you know, contraceptives or anything like that. So it's kind of like drug hits in, you know, in a lot of these very intense environments where, so it's a higher chance for pregnancies to happen. That's my theory.
Yeah, I definitely agree because they're just. Do you think that means there's more babies getting born that the people aren't prepared to be parents, or do you think people just become prepared after they have the kid on the way and they can't do anything about it?
With things like that, you know, I think it's really like it is or it isn't type of thing. You know, it's like you're either gonna be a parent or you're not. You know, there's rich people that don't want to be parents. There's poor people that do. You know, it really just it's really just that's really like split down the middle like marriages. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, folks he'd be
You can
the
be a
most
parent and not be
grimiest
a good
dude.
one.
He's like, man, I don't care, blah blah blah, and then he see that baby, and then he just like, oh shit, I'm about to be a father like a motherfucker, and just whole life changing. There's people that think, oh, this is the greatest guy. He's so on his morals. Have a baby. Pfft. You know, you just never,
True.
you know, things, you just really can't predict stuff like that.
Yeah, very true. You can't blanket statement the world.
You know, I mean,
You can
yeah,
only
for
get
sure.
under a blanket and make more of us.
I mean, you know, some people are talking about it's overpopulated. Other people talking about it's underpopulated. You know,
Would you rather be conceived under a blanket or in a public place?
what based off like my parents, like would I rather be conceived?
It doesn't have to be your parents, because I don't want to force you to have to think about your parents doing that if you don't want to.
I actually accidentally saw them doing it once. Wish I didn't say that.
So 2 songs.
Yeah.
What 2 songs?
I mean,
you
it's
wanna
what it
share
is.
with the people.
I was happy for him. It was like when I was
Hey,
like,
that-
Honestly,
is good.
I
If they
kind
were
of get
into
that.
it.
Where
Nice.
you're like, you know what?
I wasn't little. I was just like, yo, I'm happy for you, man.
Yeah.
I hear so much bad things about people not doing stuff, so it's like I'm glad
True.
that y'all do your thing.
Yeah, staying happy, staying locked in.
But what I guess I don't know. Like I guess I don't care about the conception like that. As you know, as long as I'm born healthy and
You alive.
yeah, you know.
Are you ready to be a father tomorrow, Omari?
That's a big conversation in my household right now. You know.
Wow.
I don't know if you can ever be ready, but you know, I mean, I guess you can, but when the moment comes, I'll do my best. You know.
My man, that's what I like to hear.
You know. I hope I'll be a good dad. I'll
For
try my
sure.
best to be.
No
I'm
doubt.
looking for my eye right here. So, as we finish up, as customary, I'm gonna dim these lights.
Do you want to answer? He wanted me to tell you the 2 songs thing first.
I mean, if he's got a way to end it.
This
Oh yeah, whatever.
I need
works.
you to pick
Okay.
a color, and you're gonna say these 2 songs, and we're gonna hit the road.
Do we get on horses and just like ride off into the sunset?
I think we're gonna go and we're gonna blend the songs.
I don't think anything's changing.
You gotta point it at
Oh, okay.
that. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not really mad at this color.
If this is the color you want,
Yeah,
maybe.
I'll take it in. I think it's meant to be.
Dude, it's meant to be. All right, what are these 2 songs? What you got?
So the first one is Marina Herlop, and the name of the song is called Abans Abans. Abans. Has a music video as well. Marina is spelled Marina. That's it right there. Yeah.
Okay, and what's your other song?
Give me a second. What is my other song? Criminel by Makami. And that is spelled Kriminel. And Makami is MACH-HOMMY. Those are my 2 songs that I would give.
Fire.
Fire.
We'll find out some point.
I mean, I think they're good songs.
I'm,
They're very
I'm
different from each other.
I'm gonna check them out, and you should too.
You should.
Well, everyone,
Thank you for having me.
You did a fantastic job.
thank you. Tomorrow, Omari.
We're gonna add the rest of the claps in post.
Cool, you know. Definitely, you know. When y'all get big, bring me back, you know what I'm saying?
I'd love to have you
Yeah,
back.
you know.
It was a great conversation.
Bring me back, you know. Be a, you know, once
Same production value the whole time.
Always.
I mean, shit, I think that it's a cool spot. I think, you know, whatever, you know. It's all about the content, you know what I mean?
All about the content. Well, I'm content.
Nice.
Thank you, Tomorrow, Omari.
Thank you.
Thank you, PhD Lovely. This has been the episode.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye. Oh.